Becc recently got an objection. She's hosting a flip the script event, and she got a text from a prospect. And Becc, what did the text say? We're not going to name names, but what was the objection?
Let me look it up.
Becc wants to be precise. Before this camera was rolling, she rattled it right off, but now somehow that it's being recorded, Becc has to feel that she has to be very precise.
Okay, it says, will y'all cover my costs to get there? And I said, wish we could, but since we're doing the whole tour for free, we're not covering anyone's costs. He replied, so what's in it for me exactly?
Okay, so this is the objection. And Becc, before we recorded the camera, and let's get real. How did you react? You don't have to curse like you did when the camera wasn't rolling, but your reaction was what? Your reaction was, how dare you?
It was mediocre. It was not my finest hour.
But you were like, how, dude, you were very like visibly amped up, like, how dare you not see the value in this?
Yeah, behind me. But then I learned how to, I turned it around here. I was nice. I said, look, I get it if it's too much. I'm all Robin Hooding it, bread to the masses for free right now. So in reply to what's in it for you, I'm not sure. Other than being a part of it and showing them that you'll help them, no questions asked.
Okay. How do you guys think she did out there on LinkedIn with that reply? How was that? Let's see what you guys think in the comments down below. So I'm going to now be Becc, and Becc is going to be the prospect. And
Are we still recording?
And then we're still recording. So you guys can see like Beck's approach, Braun's approach. He said, she said, not that there's any right, because sales is all about we try things. And
there's probably a better answer because he read it and didn't reply. And then I sent him another follow-up message and he didn't even read it.
See, Becc is so amped up. Now let's back up for a second and let's talk a little bit about intent. We can see that Beck's ego is at play here, right? Becc is putting this event on, and how dare someone not see the value, just like your ego is.
No one turns me down, Josh.
Right, no one puts baby in a corner. Nobody puts Becc in a corner. So step number one here in this that I want to coach Becc on, and she can ignore it, of course, is that intent is important, and we want to detach from the outcome of these scenarios, and we want to have an abundance mindset. So if someone were to say that to me, it's the equivalent of saying, hey, Josh, why should I select you as a coach, or why should I come to your thing? Yeah. I would say something like this. I'm not sure you should come. Why do you think you should come? What's even piquing your interest in the first place? And then I would just be quiet. Or instead of maybe not saying why, so what is it about this event that's even interesting to you? I'm not sure this is a fit for you. What is it about the event that's piquing your interest? And Chris Voss calls this a calibrated question, and it's aimed at having the prospect solve the problem, because people are motivated for their reasons, not your reasons. And when we start to justify it, we don't ever get to those insights. And so that's just something Becc, what do you think of that? I mean, let's talk about it. Girl talk.
It sounds more, relatively anything would have been an improvement on how I responded. It sounds more an adult ego state, I'll say, than I was in my response, or in my in the background behind my angry fist typing.
Okay. I got to say something. So first off, look how open Becc is to being coached. That's thing number one. And reflective. Now, for people that don't know what this adult ego state is, Becc, can you just groove on that for like 30 seconds? What do you, when you say you weren't in your adult ego state?
Yes. So there are 3 ego states that you have in your body based off of Eric Bern's view that he developed on transactional analysis. If you want to read a book by him, a good one is Games People Play. But the difference between your 3 ego states that everyone has in their body, and you flip between them throughout the day, your parent ego state is developed upon how your parents acted when you were a child and what behaviors you conceived from them. Your child ego state, there's 2 pieces to parent and to child, but child ego state notably has 2, the natural and the adaptive. Adaptive is the very rebellious side of you. And then natural is very impressed by very little, loves bubbles.
And were you in that rebellious state with your response? Is that what you would consider yourself in?
Yes, I would say I was either in child adaptive or within your parent ego state, you have controlling ego state that likes to enforce curfews. I was in one of those two.
And when you're in that state and someone's not in the state, is that what caused the riff? That's what causes the riff, right? When they're clashing, they don't mix, right?
Yeah. So if you're in parent ego state, or you're in child ego state, or your prospect is in parent ego state, or your prospect is in child ego state, both are very, very tricky ground, highly emotional ground. And the difference between those two and adult ego state is, an adult ego state, a good calibration test to tell if you're an adult ego state versus the other two is, are you asking questions out of genuine curiosity, or are you asking them to prove a point, blame someone, or criticize someone?
Right. And so if we compare and contrast those two approaches, the first approach, Beck's reaction was she was in the child ego state, and that's why there was a clash. And the second approach, where you're asking the question and you're saying, hey, I'm not sure this is a fit. What is it about this session that piqued your interest? You're coming at it from a curious perspective, and you're asking, as Chris Waltz puts it, a calibrated question to let them solve it. You know, how's this going to work? What are you hoping to achieve by going? You're actually allowing them to quote unquote solve the problem and get involved. It's just, it doesn't create the conflict.
Yeah. So like when it comes to, I was reading about this the other day, when it comes to arguing or debating with lawyers, there's actually a term called argumentum ad hominem, which means that you've traversed from arguing about the point into a state where you are attacking the character, motives, or attributes of the arguer themselves. So in this instance, for sure, it's like, am I seeking out facts? Am I seeking out data and like really background? Or am I in a highly volatile emotional state where I'm looking to prove a point, be right, get my way, etc.?
Awesome, guys. And hopefully this was helpful. And the first step is awareness. And so sometimes without, and I think the tip here is, when you get a text like that and you're emotionally charged, give it 24 hours, give it 36 hours. Oftentimes when you react right away, it's not your best self. Good job, Becc. Awesome job.
Thanks, Josh.